Golden State Warriors became the 10th team in NBA history to climb back from a 3-1 series deficit and move on to the next round. That next round is the NBA Finals, which they're going back to for a second consecutive year. There is a lot of takeaways from Game 7, even more takeaways really from Game 6, which I did a clip on Saturday or Sunday. I think it's on the channel. You can check it out. But in terms of Game 7, 96-88 was the final score. Stephen Curry, 36 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. That totals for more than 50% of his team's scoring output in that one singular game. You can talk all you want about Klay Thompson's Game 6 performance, which literally got the Warriors off life support so they could win Game 7 and go back home and go back to the NBA Finals. You can talk about that all game long, all day long, all night long. Deserves a lot of credit, a lot of respect, because it was seriously the best backcourt shooting performance we may have ever seen Games 5, 6, and 7. A lot of people are going to say, jumping on that bandwagon too quick, Jason. You know, got game-by-game basis. I have been taking this as a game-by-game basis and reviewing it by game. I was the first person to say after Games 3 and 4 that Steph Curry played like crap in those specific games. But don't make that what he is. That's not who he is. Steph Curry is outright the unanimous MVP for this season. I don't think you need any more proof of it than what you saw in Game 7. Yes, Klay Thompson again rattled off 5 straight threes in the second quarter. But who was there to close out the most needed game for them to go back to the finals? It was Curry. He's the real MVP of that situation. Francis, I have so much I want to get to with this clip.
Yeah.
What do you think of this game? Did you have any doubt the Warriors couldn't do this? Were they the team that was going to climb back? Where'd the Thunder go wrong? Where'd the Warriors go right?
We've been talking quite a lot with our analysis about the importance of significant moments in a game. I have been looking at the second quarter for being one of the most crucial moments in I would say many of these series, but more importantly between Golden State and Oklahoma. So the second quarter of this game, Oklahoma made it difficult for the Golden State Warriors. Golden State didn't score 3 minutes, I think, into the second quarter. They hadn't scored until 9:18 was on the clock. Steph Curry bangs in a three-pointer. That leads to a string of 5 consecutive three-pointers, right? So that gives them a significant advantage over OKC. And there was 2 specific moments throughout this game. That one came in the second quarter. But it happened again in the last quarter. And that is where your unanimous MVP has to step up. And those were the 2 significant moments. First one came in the second quarter. Second one came when Kevin Durant, I think, brought it back within, it was 90-86. Kevin Durant made a fantastic shot, 142 remaining. And then what happens? Steph Curry draws a foul from Serge Ibaka, drains a three-pointer, then converts. And that takes it just beyond Oklahoma's grasp. And that's where the problem came. I did think that OKC had the possibility to bring it back. I know you're going to go on about that. You think that they may have just kind of gave up hope with 7 points differential, but
no.
I think that with that specific moment, one of your biggest plays, one of your biggest defensive, I would say, stonewalls in Serge Ibaka, giving away a foul to allow for Steph Curry to drain that shot. I think that was a significant moment where it just fell outright.
Yeah, look, it sucked all hope out of that team. But here, so let me touch on a few things first. Kevin Durant ripped off a 7-0 scoring run by himself to carry the Thunder back into the game. They were down double figures. Durant rips off 7 points straight. They're down 4, right? Ibaka fouls. You can't foul. Oh, man, Serge Ibaka made, unfortunately, the worst play of his career, the worst decision of his career when he tangled up Steph Curry. And please, there was controversial calls throughout this game, as there was all series long, as there was for the Oklahoma City and San Antonio Spurs series. But Serge Ibaka, clear foul. I mean, this is the NBA where if your fingernail grazes the elbow of a shooter, they call it. That was his hand all over his arms,
Especially
everywhere.
On Curry, you know what I mean?
Especially on Curry, which was even funnier is he caught it and shot it and it still went in. I mean, you're pretty much making Curry get 3 points the harder way, at least. But bad foul. So that's a 7-point game. All right, Thunder come down. They missed their shot. They missed on that possession, and then they quit. And it's the only way to put it. Now, I understand completely with 40 seconds left on the game clock. You know, in a 7-point game, is it over? Pretty much. Is there a 1% chance you can win that game? Absolutely, and here's exactly how. What if you foul Curry and he goes to the line and misses both free throws? What if? You know, a guy who shoots 89, 90%, sure, is he going to miss those free throws? No, but Derrick Rose is a guy who's missed his free throws before in championship games. Like Eddie was in college, but that was the reason. That wasn't supposed to happen, right? Curry goes to the line. Maybe he misses his free throws. You come down and hit a three. Then you have a 4-point game with, what, 37, 35 seconds left in regulation? You play defense. We've seen crazier things happen in the NBA playoffs this year alone. But instead of fouling, you let Steph Curry run around, eat up the shot clock, hit a three in your face so he can walk you out the door and you can go home for the rest of the season. I don't want to, like, my rapid reaction, I was so mad. I was so furious with whoever's decision it was to not scream foul. You have Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, 8-year veterans of the NBA. They know better. Billy Donovan, a rookie head coach, still knows better. This guy won 2 championships at Florida. He knows the game of basketball. He knows how to play it. He understands it. You foul. There's no excuse for it. What happens most likely? Curry goes to the line, hits both free throws.
You give
come
yourself
down,
a chance.
You miss your shot, and that's it. It's a double-figure lead with 30 seconds left. That's the most likely scenario. But anything could have happened. On to Kevin Durant. This is an important one. Internet is freaking out at where's Kevin Durant in Game 7. He was there. He was a huge reason as to why you guys had a chance at winning that basketball game in the first place. Yeah, I understand games 3, 4, 5, 6. Even when they were winning on their home court, Kevin Durant was still shooting, 33, 34%, low 30s, but also finding a way to get to the line more. That was a huge difference. He shot efficiently in Game 7. He was 10 of 19, hitting Kobe Bryant-esque fadeaway jumpers that could not be defended. He was getting to the rim when he could. He was able to attack. He was causing mismatches throughout the first 3 quarters of this basketball game. He also ripped off that 7-0 scoring run. And you're going to criticize Kevin Durant? Wrong guy to criticize in that situation. Russell Westbrook set the record for most turnovers in a Western Conference Finals. History. It's not Russ Westbrook's fault specifically, but you're criticizing the wrong guy because Kevin Durant did whatever he could to get his team back in that game. I'm not going to go back to Game 6 and blame Kevin Durant for poor shooting. The Thunder, there's a lot of people out there saying the Thunder lost this series in Game 6. No, they lost the series when they lost Game 7. Because they lost the series 4-3. It's really not that complicated. You can talk all you want about how the Thunder, that was the game they needed to close out and win to prove they can do it. They could have won in Golden State. They didn't. Those are the facts. Yet we still have these really weird, strange arguments that the series was lost after Game 6. They didn't have a chance. Of course they had a chance. They were winning at halftime again. They were winning at parts in the third quarter again. They just couldn't close it out. It's not a choke. And here's the reason. They weren't supposed to beat the Spurs. Nobody had them beating the Spurs. Every analyst on ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS, no chance. They beat the Spurs in 6. They definitely weren't supposed to beat the Golden State Warriors, a team that's going to go down, if they win the NBA Finals, as undoubtedly a top 3 greatest single NBA team of all time. The only argument you can make is the 95-96 Bulls and Magic Johnson's 84, 85, 83, 84 Los Angeles Lakers. You can also talk to Andre about the Bill Russell Celtics if you want. They weren't supposed to beat the Warriors. Yes, they couldn't close out games. It was their biggest weakness during the regular season. They couldn't do it in Game 6 and Game 7 when it mattered most. But as our executive producer will tell you, you gave up a lead to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Possibly the most spectacular shooting performance we've seen in back-to-back years from any 2 players in the league. Possibly. Not going out of my way, but it's up there. Accept the excellence for what it is and love it, right? The Clippers gave up, sorry to bring it up, Dan, they gave up double-figure leads to Josh Smith and Corey Brewer and James Harden. But still, Josh Smith and Corey Brewer are not Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. They're just not. I don't know what I have left for this one. The Cavs and the Warriors are about to face off for a rematch. And you should be ecstatic about it because I think it's still the best matchup you could have asked for when it comes to this NBA Finals.
I agree.
Any difference? Who do you got?
Probably Golden State now. I don't know, just they showed a little bit more. I don't mean a team that goes 7-3 in the season, and I think they're the last team that were able to come back was the Celtics in 1981, I believe, from 3-1 down. You don't do that and not be considered the favorites. Golden State.
It's true. Championship teams do exactly what the Warriors did. What did I didn't touch on real quick? So the comment section hash out. Probably should have called the jump ball on Draymond Green. It looked like Russ had a hand in there. Did they give him the timeout? They gave him the timeout. Some calls go your way, sometimes they don't. But it was a foul on Ibaka, and there's no doubt about that one. All right, you got to like, favorite, and subscribe to this video. You got to comment below. You got to talk to Francis on Twitter, @Francis_Maxwell. He responds to almost every tweet. Swear to God.
I do?
@JasonRubin91. Well, now you do, because I said it. @TYT Sports. We'll see you next time.